Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters! What's going on, man? Hey, I've been on a tear all freaking night. If you can see my eyes, they're puffy as hell because motherfucker ain't been sleeping. But, yo, I've been just looking up, you know, getting myself back, getting myself in the loaded, should I say, locked and loaded with certain knowledge, specific facts, particular details that usually will be unused, unnecessary, maybe considered bragging when you're talking boxing with most 85% of the people. You know what I'm saying? This stuff people like, you think you know it all, huh? I see you know boxing, huh? You try to flex on me because you know all these, you know what I mean, unrelated facts to whatever me and that person was talking about specifically at that time. But I chose to look up the list of a list of undisputed champions, of all undisputed champions, current and present. And check this out, very interesting. Give me 7-8 minutes for sure. Okay, the list of undisputed champions. First of all, let's deal with the criteria. The criteria for being undisputed champion. Well, from 1920 to 1963, a boxer who held both the NYSAC and NBA, or now today WBA, titles simultaneously. Again, from 1920, which was the inception of the WBA, okay, the WBA title, the oldest, the first and oldest. From 1920 to 1963, a boxer who held both the NYSAC and NBA, today the WBA, titles simultaneously. From 1963 to 1983, a boxer who held both the WBA and WBC titles simultaneously. From 1983 to 2007, a boxer who held the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles simultaneously. Then, from 2007 to the present time, today, a boxer who holds a boxer who holds the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO titles simultaneously. By February 2007, all four major organizations were recognized by each other. Okay? By February 7th, all four major organizations were recognized by each other. Okay? So all four recognize each other equally. Okay? Equivocally recognizes each other, if you want to say it, hear it that way. Now let's go down the list. Now, what I'm about to do is look up all the unified champions, say the last 20 to 40 years of my lifetime. And this was interesting because a certain somebody doesn't fall or doesn't ever show up in this list. He might show up in a list of unified champions, but never does he show up in a list of undisputed champions. And this is wild. Check this out. I got 3 minutes left. Okay, heavyweight. Okay, last undisputed, of course, was Lennox Lewis. Riddick Bowe was undisputed. Evander Holyfield was undisputed. James Buster Douglas for his upset of the great Mike Tyson, undisputed. Then Leon Spinks, and before him, Muhammad Ali. George Foreman was before that as well, and Joe Frazier. That's why all those big names, you know, definitely, that's why you know those big names definitely off rip. All those names I name, you name off rip. Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Leon Spinks, Mike Tyson, James Buster Douglas by default, because he beat Mike Tyson, who was the most recognizable, one of the most recognizable sports figures, top 3 during that time. Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis. Every sports fan, no matter whether they are decafs or not, okay, whether they are diehard or casual, know those names. And that is what Undisputed does for you. Okay, that's the heavyweight division. Okay, let's go back and let's look at the cruiserweight. Already know that. That's Alexander Usyk. He is, okay, the last undisputed, which means he holds all 4 of them. Before him was O'Neal Bell, January 7th, 2006. That was before they all recognized each other. And the WBO, he did not have. And of course, before him, Evander Holyfield. Now, not many of us know O'Neal Bell because cruiserweight is not one of those glamour weights. It's like a cut in the middle. Either you're going to be like middleweight, you know what I'm saying? Then boom, heavyweight. But the middleweights are usually the last ones to get the, you know, the wonderful glory and everything and fame. The cruiserweight, lightweights are constantly overlooked. You know, light heavyweights. We know that. Light heavyweight though. Okay, Roy Jones Jr. was the last light heavyweight undisputed champion of the world. Before him, Michael Spinks. Okay, Michael Spinks. It's hard to not know this Michael Spinks because of his brother Leon Spinks, and they made a family name known in boxing forever. Before that, let's go to super middleweight. The super middleweight. This was interesting. To date, there have been no undisputed super middleweight champions. The closest the division came to having an undisputed champion was on November 3rd, 2007, when Joe Calzaghe defeated Mikhail Kessler. For you UK fans, when Joe Calzaghe defeated Mikhail Kessler to unify the WBA, Super, WBC, and WBO titles. The IBF champion at the time was Lucien Butte. So super middleweight has never had an undisputed champion. Closest was Calzaghe, which he was, could say the unified champion at super middleweight. And then let's go to the middleweights. Last 40 years. Okay, let's come up. Last 40 years. Last 40 years, the last super middleweight champions, undisputed super middleweight champions, was Hugo Coro. Hugo Coro. Trying to see what that flag is. Hugo Coro from Argentina. Hugo Coro. Okay. So that's interesting. Hugo Coro. Vito Otuofermo, 1979, 1980. Alan the Mentor. Heard that name. I know that dude. That's UK people. Alan Mentor. September 27th, Marvin Hagler. And then September 29th, 2001, the last one was Bernard Hopkins. And this was for the middleweight title. Okay? So the last 40 years, it was Vito Otuofermo, Alan Mentor, Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins. That's all, last 40 years, that's all the undisputed champions for that weight class there has been for the weight class of the middleweights. For the middleweight weight class, let me say. Light middleweight. Light, Winky Wright. Winky Wright was undisputed at light middleweight. Then it goes all the way back to 1975. It was a Japanese. Hold up. Okay, so of course the IBO back then, go back to 1975, which is the WBA and WBC needed for undisputed. Wow, okay. WBO, IBF didn't come into 1976. I guess so. Okay, the IBF didn't come because the IBF didn't come into play till 1976. So back in 75, the year I was born, when it took the WBA and WBC to be undisputed. Then, but the last one was Winky Wright. Winky Wright, Florida, baby. Shout out to Florida. Welterweight. Now go to the welterweight. This was very fucking interesting. Okay, the last of the 40 years, the undisputed champions for welterweight over the last 40 years was, and let me go from latest to most current, was Sugar Ray Leonard, 82. 86, then Donald Curry got it. Then Lloyd Hunnigan, UK in the house, 1987. Corey Spinks, damn, Spinks family is a motherfucker. Corey Spinks, 2005. Zab Judah, 2006. Zab Judah was an undisputed welterweight champion. Okay? Light welterweight. Takashi Fuji. Okay, let's say Katsuzu. Katsuzu. Light welterweight. And then last after him, Terrence Crawford. The last undisputed for the light welterweight division. Lightweights. Let's go down to the lightweights. Okay. The last let me go up to 71. Ken Buchanan. UK in the house. UK in the house. Yeah, Ken Buchanan in 1971. Okay. An undisputed lightweight champion. Undisputed. Roberto Duran. 1979. Pernell Whitaker. The last one in 1992. The last undisputed champion at lightweight. Featherweight. 1969, Hiroshi Kobayashi, and that was 1969. So all you needed was the WBA and WBC. Featherweight, Vicente Saldivar. Bantamweight, show everybody love. 72, Enrique Pinder. Super flyweight, Hiro Watanabe. 86, and the flyweight, Horacio Acavallo, 1968. You know whose name that wasn't spoken that glared to me, to be honest with you? Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has never been an undisputed champion of any weight division. That was fucking interesting. Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has never been. Bernard Hopkins has been. Roy Jones has been undisputed in light. But at middleweights, the last one was Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins. So Roy Jones was never an undisputed middleweight champion. Wow. But he undisputed up at light. Heavyweight. He never undisputed, was never undisputed at the freaking middleweights. And never been a super middleweight one. Roy Jones was undisputed at light heavyweight. But it was something very interesting on that. Because another guy, that's what politics played. That was crazy. Welterweights. Just Sugar Ray Leonard. He was undisputed at welterweight, so he earned his glory. You got to get undisputed to really get over the top. You need to be undisputed to really get over the top. Oscar De La Hoya has never been an undisputed champion. Just some names. Never. A lot of the cats we look at as like great, we look up to, have never been undisputed champions. You know who also has never been an undisputed champion? We looked at the list, we never saw. Julio Cesar Chavez has never been undisputed. Roberto Duran has, though. Julio Cesar Chavez has never been undisputed. Just go down the names. Everybody I said, bro. And all the names that really go down in history. Julio Cesar Chavez never been undisputed. Floyd Mayweather's never been an undisputed champion in any weight class. Damn, the list goes on and on. Marvin Hagler was undisputed. Sugar Ray was undisputed. Hitman Hearns wasn't, but he was dynamic. He's one of the ones who, it was actually Hitman Hearns who was one of the ones who started saying, I got weight divisions and this many different weight divisions though. You know what I'm saying? But we all know Hearns was, you know, legendary. We ain't disputing like he was one of the ones who got around the curve. But just all the champions who's never been undisputed. And we know Hearns has at least been unified. But he's never been undisputed. That's crazy. Just think of all the great names that has never been undisputed champion. Man. Some of the biggest names. You know what I'm saying? And Floyd. Damn. I don't know, but I don't know everything goes on in politics. Before you've never been undisputed ever. Manny Pacquiao's never been an undisputed champion. None of these guys. So they that's why they're creating this pound for pound bullshit. Okay? What's with all this pound for pound? Even my boy from Puerto Rico. Shit. Damn. Puerto Rico. Yeah, I know who I'm talking about. I'm getting a brain fart. I'm shocked right now. I'm in a state of shock. Real talk. I'm in a state of shock. I guess what's motherfuckers thinking? Like, there's so many damn undisputed, so many belts. If they end up getting more belts, we would never have an undisputed. I can see 4. You wipe out 4, that's great, but I can't see any more. Don't add any more motherfucking belts, okay? No more. No more. My apologies. I know that was disgusting. No more belts. This is it. For real, though. 3, okay, 3 should have been fair. I think they need to make, somebody need to put in their rules. They're like, look, if you got 3 out of 4, at least you can be called undisputed then. You know what I'm saying? And then, if you only have 1 belt, you can be called a super champion. If you have at least 1 belt, you can be called a super champion. But you're not the undisputed, well, no, fuck all that. You need all 4 of them shits. So now, it's going to be harder. I will make it harder for the younger motherfuckers, man. Than the earlier cats, then. That'll make it a little bit harder. Real talk. You gotta fight the toughest all the motherfuckers have. You're gonna go through some tough fight. Man. But thank you for the boxing history, fellas. I'm gonna let y'all go. And ladies. That was very interesting. Wow. See you on the next video coming up later today. This is Myron Magnus, segment of Pure Pugilism, Boxing Logic.